Welcome back. You're watching the special conversation with Harsh Mariwala on the special edition of Young Turks. Mr. Mariwala, you said that you will continue to be acquisitive, and of course a lot will depend on the market dynamics, the price, etc. But will the focus continue to be on personal care, beauty, wellness, because that's where the current emphasis seems to be in the D2C space for you?
Yes, Shereen, we are a very focused company. I have a strong belief in focus because focus brings in depth and depth brings in excellence. You try to do too many things. This is jack of all trades versus master of none. I don't want to be that. So we will be focused on beauty and wellness and not go all around chasing each and every opportunity in D2C space.
Right. Mr. Mariwala, I want to talk to you about something that I know you are a firm believer in. You believe that organizations must have an outside-in mindset as well. And of course, I would imagine that it needs to be balanced with an inside-out approach also. As you look at the mega trends that are shaping in the domestic market, but more importantly also in the global market, where do you believe there are nascent opportunities that you could potentially tap into?
So as long as they fit into the beauty and wellness, yes. The trends which have occurred over a period of time and accelerated by COVID are trends towards natural, trends toward vegan, trends toward organic, digital acceleration, health, immunity. So as long as there is a fit and we can create a brand which is differentiated in these spaces, of course we will try and leverage. And it's very important for any business to understand these trends because these trends can be perceived as threats or converted into opportunities. And if you start studying these trends, and many of these trends have started from the Western world. I had gone to US about 4 or 5 years back and I saw these trends. And all this got accelerated in the COVID time. But it was a matter of time these trends went all over the world. Because these are global trends, most of them. And I think the key thing is to catch what are these trends and be a first mover in that particular area and then pioneer and, succeed in that place.
Right. So, since we're talking about nurturing growth in India, nurturing private entrepreneurial capital, I also want to talk about global aspirations, Mr. Mariwala. We don't have that many Indian brands who've been able to make an impact globally. We are now starting to see a lot of startups look at the possibility of entering global markets. The SaaS story, of course, has gone global already. But in terms of global aspirations, what do you believe it will take to ensure that Indian brands, Indian companies can hold their own in a global market?
So it's a very good question, Shereen. Many FMCG companies, Indian FMCG companies have gone global, but there is not one single global brand which has made a big impact, Indian global brand which has made a big impact. The two major businesses where India has played a global role are in the area of IT and in pharma generics. But in terms of brand creation, you need to have again something which you can leverage because many of the businesses globally have started and mastered by MNCs like Procter & Gamble, Levers, L'Oreal and so on. But unless we have truly unique, we have to leverage something which is Indian. It could be yoga, it could be Ayurveda, it could be anything which is unique for India, it could be Indian tea. But as on today, the opportunity for all these products is relatively limited. I must credit Korea in terms of creating a whole cosmetic line from Korea. So I think the key thing is to identify what is unique to India and build that business and build scale globally and build global brands, as you rightly put it. I don't see anything on the horizon in the near future, but maybe over a period of time, some of these trends, if they catch on, I think India can leverage, Indian entrepreneurs can leverage opportunities arising out of these trends.
Yes, and I hope that that certainly is something that Indian companies, large and small, will focus on. But Mr. Mariwala, let me end by asking you, last Independence Day, you tweeted saying that a lot has changed, a lot has been accomplished for India, but there's a long distance to be covered. As we mark this important milestone of 75 years of our independence, what do you believe needs to be prioritized from here on?
So I think one is the role of the government, and we should not expect too much from that end. Of course, on the reforms front, it has to continue some of the reforms which have faltered in the recent past in terms of, the government launched something and they have not been able to move forward. I think the key thing is to look at all the stakeholders, discuss these reforms, get in alignment, and then implement. Because many times, when you do it without taking the stakeholder alignment, then there could be a lot of opposition. Good example was GST, when all the states were involved deeply in terms of what is likely to happen. They all agreed. Of course, there have been some murmurs now of differences of opinion among some states, but net, it's a very big reform which was undertaken. And I think one key reason was, involving all the diverse states in terms of the GST, the need to GST, make those changes and move forward.
Mr. Mariwala, it's always a pleasure. Appreciate you joining us here on CNBC-TV18 to take us through what you make of the journey so far, and more importantly, where India is headed in the future and the role that private capital and philanthropy can play to ensure that we do have a robust future. Appreciate your time. Always a pleasure speaking with you.